Hello and welcome to What Terraria Class Should You Use? This is a slideshow I've made, and it's basically going to give you all a list of the four in quotation marks options that you can use for your Terraria playthrough. You're getting Terraria, you see different damage types, different weapons, and you don't know which one you want to do. This video is for you. Okay, so first up, we have melee. This one is for people who want to be strong. So basically, if you like being ridiculously overpowered by the end of the game, this is how you do, because the objective strongest weapon in Terraria is in this class. So it's like, yeah. Also, if you want to use magic but you don't want to play mage, there's a thing with a lot of this got fixed for a lot of them, but in all the versions especially, but still a slight issue now. A lot of the swords have projectiles that are better to deal damage with than the actual sword. This is because true melee swords with no projectiles are very hard to use. Where a bunch of true melee swords got reworked and stuff in a recent update, but it's still an issue in early stages of the game, especially since I don't think one of the swords from the first half of the game got reworked. Most of the rework were in the second half of the game, which means that you can't really you can't really use the sword itself a lot of time. Also, if you suck at dodging, because the melee class, the armor that boosts melee weapon damage has the highest defense in the game. The armors that do that have very high defense. So if you suck at dodging and get hit a bunch, melee is good for you. We have ranger. If you have good aim, this would be a good idea for you. There is later on in the game, this bullet that sort of auto aims, so that as long as you get relatively close to the target, you can use that, which is a lifesaver for most boss fights. I can't speak from experience. I've never played ranger, but that's what a lot of ranger players say, at least. So I mean, I feel like if anyone would know, it's them. I feel like people who play ranger on a regular basis would know a lot about playing ranger. Also, if you to have copious amounts of ammo, because you can have thousands of ammo for a boss fight. If you want stock up for a particularly hard boss fight, you typically would have thousands of ammo, which is just funny. And also, if you want to use animals as weapons, this bunny and this squirrel is in this preset of the slideshow software I'm using, you could probably turn those into weapons. There's a lot of ranged weapons that are animals or part animal. There's this one gun that's literally just a fish. You can get by fishing, and there's a fish that you can shoot poison. Kind of random, but also there's this machine gun where you can buy illegal gun parts from the arms dealer, and then you can combine it with a bunch of shark fins to make a mini shark, which is a small minigun with a shark head. And then later on in the game, you can upgrade it to a mega shark with it, which is a slightly larger minigun with a shark face. So yeah, it's kind of weird. The mage, if you like farming games, is good for you, and also enjoy resource management. These two are tied. Basically, resource management is you have to use mana to use weapons. That's the whole point of the class. But even if you have loads of buffs and accessories to boost your your mana regeneration, does the issue of it just not being good enough. So while mana regeneration buffs can help with the issue, you have to rely heavily on mana regeneration potions, which while they slightly reduce your natural mana regeneration, what they do is they give you a large sudden burst of mana, and they are mandatory for the boss fights and events. And potions in this game require herbs, so you need to make a large herb farm if you're going to play mage. Also, if you both dislike having no defense and having loads of defense, it's because I couldn't think of anything else, honestly. Because melee and ranged have very high defense. Summoner, which we'll cover next, has very low defense. And mage is kind of in the middle. So, like, if you want to not be able to tank everything, or can't tank everything, like, even with optimal defense builds, you can't tank anything. If you want to tank anything, by the way, is just a quick tip. If you want to tank everything, you don't want to look into defense. You want to look in health regen. There's very good health regen room set up where you can just stand in one place and have like minions do it with like summons. So that if you want to be immortal, look into those. But basically, mage provides a nice balance. So yeah. Then we have summoner. So if you like controlling an army, you can have up to 13 minions, but there is a minion that's technically just 2 minions. So you can have theoretically 26 minions, which I just love the idea of. You can just have like it's like the minion is actually 2 minions, like 2 tiny like eyeballs. You can have like an army of 26 small eyeballs just defeat your enemies. Also, you want to focus on dodging because your army is doing everything for you. So it's like whips, which summoners can use to not only buff the summons but deal some direct damage yourself. But this like half to 2/3 of your DPS is from your minions, sometimes more. You can just, if you're low on health, you don't have to worry that much about not being able to feed the boss in time for no turn the bosses. You can just focus on dodging, because most of the time, whenever you lose a boss, typically it's not because you don't have good enough DPS, because it's because you don't have enough survivability. So as long as your DPS is good, is okay, you can typically fall for like a minute just focusing on dodging and trying to get your wait for your healing potion to recharge. If you like tower defense games, there's a really good like alternative to like the best like summoner armor and damage. There's a really good alternative for like defense. It's like, and like, typically like, the breastplate of it is used instead of the breastplate, the like DPS build for like a lot of summoner builds. The high DPS armor. It requires a tower defense thing. We have variation minions called sentries, which stay in one place instead of moving about. And it's just a tower defense game in Terraria. So and that's really good. Also, it's like controlling stuff, and also if you're me, because I like summoner. Summoner is good. Okay. Oh well. This isn't the end. There's a final forbidden option. Introducing Mixed. Mixed is basically the Terraria equivalent of Rule of Cool. Find a cool weapon, armor, or accessory. Just add it to your character. Don't care how having good defense or having a specific strategy that your build is going for, or even focusing on a specific damage type. Just do what you want. So this is good if you've already played the other four and you like know the good and bad things from each one, so you can know what works and what doesn't, and theorize about what weapons from each class might combo with weapons from other classes. Also, you want an extra challenge because there's no general like damage, but there's very few damage buffs that are for all classes. The majority of them are for like 1 or 2 classes. So that's good. I also want to be cooler because again, it's just about being cool. That's why most people do it. So you will be cool amongst Terraria fans if you do it, especially on your first playthrough. But I wouldn't advise doing that since it's really fun to make a specific build. So advice for like if you want to do it early, your second playthrough at the like earliest, maybe like your third or fourth. If you want to do early, although personally I would recommend until your fifth. And that concludes the presentation. I hope that today, if you just started out Terraria and you're wondering what options you have to choose, hopefully this can help you out a bit. So, yeah, bye I guess.